Speaking of domestic production of oil and gas, in the Front Range, around where we are, Boulder, Longmont, Lafayette, Fort Collins, as you know, there's been a lot of controversy about fracking. Where should fracking be permitted? Should it be permitted in residential, near residential areas? Should it be permitted in towns and cities? Should the state have control? Should the localities have control? What's your take on that?
Well, first of all, you have to understand, as a result of efforts that I made when I was governor and that Governor Hickenlooper has done in the follow-up to that, we have the strongest set of state regulations of any state in the country where oil and gas extraction is concerned and where hydraulic fracturing is concerned. So that's the starting point for me. We have a very strong set of state regulations. Having said that, I appreciate that there are still these state versus local control conflicts, and you talked about the 5 cities that have banned them, but other conflicts beyond just the 5 that have actually had votes. And so from my perspective, local government should have a greater role, a greater formal role in the permitting process, but I don't think they should be able to ban it. I don't think it's appropriate, just given our scheme in this state about what belongs to state control, what belongs to local control. I think we have what's called a mixed concern here, and so there's a mixed responsibility on the part of both the state and the localities to look at the appropriate way to regulate this and to permit it. The state definitely has an important part to play, and having a strong set of state regulations helps me be in favor of that state role, but I don't think local government should be taken out of the equation. I think there are ways to formalize that. I think the Oil and Gas Conservation Commission will work on that, but natural gas and even oil production are a part of what I call this transition that we're in, where we're transitioning to this sort of clean energy economy that I think has to take place, right? I'm a big believer that climate change is real, that we have to make this transition to a clean energy economy in America and in Colorado, but that gas and oil are a part of that. We cannot shut things down tomorrow and think they're going to be okay, and actually natural gas is a really significant part of that.
So flesh out a little bit for me, because I hear that a lot, that we have the strongest state regulations in the country. What does that mean? Give us a couple of examples of the regulations you're talking about.
Well, we put in place a whole new set of regulations when I was governor in 2007, 2008. So on well completion, on well bore integrity, on, at the time, on what we called the sort of green completions and ending of, flaring or flaring without some endpoint. Those were the kinds of things that were put in place. We have, since I left office under Governor Hickenlooper, a good disclosure rule that discloses what's in the fracturing fluids. We have also the first set of rules that are about methane monitoring in the country. If you take everything that we've done, the combined efforts of the last 2 administrations, then you get the strongest set of rules. Industry will say it, environmentalists will say it. So when the EPA passed a well completion rule in 2012, the operators in Colorado didn't need to do anything new. They had already been doing this since 2009 because of the set of rules that we have about how you complete a well and how you finish off and what you do with respect to flaring, those kinds of things. Around the world, people look to Colorado for rules on, as I said, wellbore integrity, water monitoring, the kinds of things that we do have in the rules that are setbacks that I think local government says are unsatisfactory are still a serious set of setback rules. And then methane monitoring, just all taken together, they're important parts, component parts of a strong set of regulations.